Hello again, people, and welcome to yet another edition of the Thief Gold Iron Mode Fan Mission Playthrough. I am your host, Deathstalker, and today we shall be covering a level known as Circles. Known for being well-rounded and otherwise awesome, circles are a very important shape of our life, which is one important reason why we deserve an entire fan mission dedicated to circles. Anyway, this mission was made on June 13th of 1999, which means that it is, I want to say 3 days after the last mission. No, maybe 2 days. My mistake. I think the last mission we did was on June 11th of 1999, which was the Escape the Bear Pits. So that means we're now 2 days ahead, and this mission was made by Tells, who you will remember as the author of the default map. Now, this map is going to be played in Drumhead, sadly, unlike his last mission, but it is just a very short test map, so we'll get through it rather quickly, just like all these other random test maps. So, this is a small sample map showing some things you can do with circles. In the first room, it shows how to create multiple circles to overcome the limit of 11 sides in one circle. Then there is a room with a bend all, and finally to circles inside each other, casting interesting shadows. So we'll exactly see what he's talking about when we actually get into it. Anyway, maybe because this is a copy-paste, but he's saying there's a map in this level. So once again, like I said, always always be wary when they're saying that there's a map in their levels in these fan missions, because they might have just copy-pasted or something, and it doesn't actually exist. And because we're playing this map at Drumhead, it is a known fact that there is going to be no map in this level, due to the fact that the map files are separate from the mission files. And when loading up Drumhead, you basically just load up the mission file generally, unless it's done in a specific way where you load up a bunch of different stuff and extract everything all together. But if you're loading up just a mission file with no other files whatsoever, it is bound not to have any resource files. No books, no maps, no anything like that. So, yeah, it's a total lie when it's saying it has a map. So, that's pretty sad that, it was a copy-paste. Beyond that, it says that, you use Drumhead to do it, which we talked about. Let's see here. Please note, for some reason his grammar is really bad here compared to the last one, that each of the effects creates lots of polygons. Apparently, if you build, other shapes, you can't build like other shapes in cube and circle and such, by joining two blocks and merging the vertices. So therefore, you end up with a lot more polygons than would otherwise be ideal. So, yeah, not too much we really had to worry about this time around. Just the basic defaults when it comes to the level. And I think with all that in mind, let me move that over, and then we can actually load up the mission. So let me open up Drumhead. You can probably see my Drumhead editor in the screen. And I'll open up my particular mission, which is here, here, and here we are. Now, I'll open it up, and you should see it pretty fine. I think I'm already able to see that you are able to see it. Alrighty, so what do we have here? Beyond the fact that if I press map, we're going to crash the game. Thought I would show that off because he did say there was a map. Brilliant job, you crashed my game. So, yeah. As usual in Drumhead, when you load up the mission, unless you type in like certain commands, you're going to start in normal difficulty, but for these test maps, it doesn't really matter. You did have the gesture to add sound, unlike the other test maps. And we have a circle. As he said, really, this is to show the fact that it has more than 11 sides. Let's see here. It's kind of hard to tell how many sides it has. This texture isn't exactly the prettiest. But I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe something like that. It's hard for me to count the sides in game. If I was to actually do it, I'd probably look from the Drumhead editor where it'd be a lot easier to see. In fact, let's actually do that here. Yeah, and look at that. There's definitely a lot more sides to it than 11. You can even see here. I don't really know how to count the sides, but there's definitely a lot of sides. There's a lot of sides to this wall. It's very smooth. It's very circular. So, yeah. Then we have this little corridor. And some other textures. Which, I don't really get. But he creates this rounded corridor, which just shows the feature of how you can make like a rounded corridor by kind of carving and then adding a circle to an otherwise square room to make a nice little curve. It's a nice little effect. And then by having like an open one, you know, it creates some nice lighting effects as you have like shadows here and then darkness here. Even though it's not really affecting his light gem at all, if you notice. But it's a nice little open and closed area, even if the sides are really like paper thin almost. Garrett, why are you guessing? Run around here. Up. Not really much to do. You know, walk in here. Look at this texture, look up there. Appreciate this. Get back out. Yeah, it's just a 3-room map with circle, circle, and more circles. So if you like circles and want to ever see things you could do with a circle, well, this is a map for you. I don't really know whenever anybody's ever asked the question, what can I do with the circle shape in particular? But, yeah. There's some things you can do with that. In my opinion, the most interesting of them is probably the curved corridor. This is something that I don't think really... I can't remember in existence in, like, the original Thieves that this was done. And this is, like, a nice little effect that makes it look different. It's simple to do, and yet it's a nice little trick. So, that one makes sense to me to have. The first one, I guess from a technical standpoint it could make sense, but... I'm not sure about how Drumhead works, but honestly, I think Drumhead, wouldn't the circle shape be more than 11 sides? Doesn't he mean like a cylinder or something? Cylinder having like 11 sides at most? In that case, why wouldn't you just make a circle? And if it is a circle that only has 11 sides, that's a pretty sharp circle. And if that was the whole solution, was to add 2 things, alright. That's really weird that you have to make a patch in order to do that, but alright. I'll go with it. And then this one, which I guess could be okay because it does show real lighting effects, but the light gem doesn't even work right with it. It just is a thing. It's not really, in my opinion, that much of a big deal. You know, like the other ones where it just feels like if the light gem actually changed, and you know, you could actually make some nice real shadows from this. Have some nice effects. Peekaboo. And whatnot, but also it doesn't really matter too much because it's the idea that if you're going to have an object like this, it's going to block anyway. So I don't really see what was the point of making this from why we need to see this effect. But that might just be me. Anyway, that was basically the entire level. That's how sad and how quick it was. You know, no surprise there. As I said, it was going to be a quick Drumhead mission. So, thank you all for watching. Sorry about it being so short, but that's what happens when you get one of these bloody quick test levels. And I shall see you all next time.